guarding man-to-man, but there were times I had to get him man-to-man. And your favorite team that you guys love to face in your division?
Yours.
Yes, sir.
It's like the games like you play against the Raiders, you might get 3 sacks. When they had Jamarcus Russell, which I did. So I got 3 sacks on them. I got 3 sacks on them in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And I'm ready, and they take Tommy Maddox.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to West War Room Rivals. I am your host, Cody. I'm joined with my comrades here in the War Room, sponsored by the JBW Solutions LLC company. What up, fellas?
What is going on?
What up, everybody? Denver Dev, I see you in the comments. Shout out to waiting for us. Thank you. I was tardy. The Raider fan was tardy. Forgive me, guys. I had some house chores to do before I was able to play with my friends. So,
Giggity.
how was your guys' weekend? Did we get to see some good football action or what?
Caleb?
I saw some terrible football action.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad. We were kind of looking for you, trying to get your opinion. I'm sure it was hard to watch that game and comment back to us, but I was just asking. We were just all making sure that you were well and okay. As a friend of ours, we just want to make sure you're okay.
Yep, and you are our Lightning McQueen. We had to make sure you are defended at all costs. So
that's right.
We did. In our defense, we did say this. Like, we did say that we thoroughly understood what you were dealing with at the moment. Yeah. We didn't expect anything, but we did want to make sure that you were okay, and that anyone that came after Caleb was going to have to come through all of us. So we got
and look, Mama Williams is already throwing some smack at you. There you go.
Oh man, hey, the better team won. I'll definitely get into that in a minute, but a better team definitely won. It's pretty obvious too.
So you're better at containing your crash outs than Cody. Cody would have immediately jumped into the crash out.
I'd have still been crashing out as the intro happened right now. So
Cody gets them anime veins when he's upset.
I get super sane when I get pissed. Unfortunately, and I didn't mean that as a shot, Caleb, because I did see that some Chargers creators were using that little animation as like the Chargers are going to rise. And, unfortunately, as we all know, that didn't happen. But I do want to dive into a little bit of that as we're going to kick off the show. We are going to kick it off with the Chargers, Caleb, unfortunately. I do want to ask, man, what happened?
Where do I start?
This is your show, buddy. You start where you need to start.
And just know we're here for you.
Should I start with the good or the bad?
That's not how you start. It's how you finish.
We're just here.
I'll start with the bad. I'll start with the good before I crash out, because I'm going to crash out regardless. So the defense looked good. That's about all I've got as far as good goes. So, man, I was disappointed, man. I invest so much into watching this team. We do the podcasts, and then for them to come prepared as much as they look like they were prepared offensively, I mean, I could have came up with a better game plan than that. I'm dead serious. I'm not even joking.
Let it all out, Caleb. Go ahead.
Well, I told you all on the pregame that I was like, dude, I feel like I'm about to play. Like, I'm watching film, I'm getting ready for it, looking at stats and everything. And then they're over here and we can't get a first down. It's like, what are we doing? Like, can you run the ball? Can you throw the ball? Can we do something? But I'll get into that too. But our O-line is terrible. We've got to – obviously we can't control the injuries that happened earlier in the season. That's no excuse for this game, man. I'm not making excuses. We were not good enough. We didn't look like we were prepared offensively. Defensively, we actually looked prepared. When you're on the field the whole game, you're going to give up points. Like, that's just how the game works. So I'm not surprised they gave up a touchdown to the potential MVP. But overall, there's so much to say, and I'm just trying to figure out how to say it, to be honest with you, because I'm wearing my Herbert jersey, right? I'm a ride or die. I'm not putting the game on him by any means, but with that being said, he was nowhere near his best. And it's playoff time. You got to be your best. Like, it is what it is. It's big boy time. You got to hopefully this isn't bad, but sometimes you got to nut up and play. Like, you just got to be a man about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be a man. Suck it up sometimes. And I'm not saying that he didn't play his butt off, because I think he did. I think he gave everything he had. I mean, he's got a broke hand, terrible O-line. He was getting hit, felt like every play. He was pressured on 30 of his 44 dropbacks, which is an insane number. Insane. But yeah, it was just a really, really long weekend. For me, I was very disappointed in their preparation. Obviously, we made the right moves, I believe, in firing Greg Roman and Mike Devlin today. Those were huge moves for us. Sorry, I know I'm talking a lot.
You keep going,
but I'm just so disappointed in their performance and their preparation and how they played. It's disappointing, as a fan who watches every game, literally every game, even when I probably shouldn't watch every game, I do it, and we just got to be better than that. Like, that's the bottom line. We weren't good enough. We were not the better team. Nowhere near it. We've got a lot of work to do this off season, and we got to be big boys. You got to learn how to win some games whenever stuff's not going your way. Like, this is how it is. Our defense kind of kept us in every game this season, down the stretch. That's why we won most of our games as the season went along, and we just couldn't do it in the playoffs. I even told on the pregame show, I said, Justin Herbert's got to play or we're burnt toast. That's literally what I said. And he didn't come to play, and we were burnt toast. That is for sure. 3 points is unacceptable as a NFL football team. That's all I got to say in the playoffs. But sorry.
No. Let it all out, man. This is a safe space. This is your time to share.
That's him at a 6. You don't want to see him go to a 12.
Yeah, no. I feel like you're still holding back for our sake, and I'm just here to say you're safe with us. Definitely. Cory, I do want to kind of ask your opinion a little bit, because you did a TikTok live for us on Saturday morning. Charger fans were in droves just talking about how they were going to eliminate the Broncos. So, Cory, I want your thoughts on this game. And the floor is yours, man. What was your thoughts when you were watching it and all that good stuff?
So, first off, I do want to point out we talked Saturday morning before the Charger fans decided to act tough and act like they were relevant. I did say that there was the avenue for the Chargers to win this ball game was to get the defense was the key, right? Get turnovers, get your offense to short field, and by God, what do they do that for the first quarter? They get that ball right there inside the red zone. Caleb, do you remember what happened?
Yep.
For us that don't remember, what happened?
Freaking, what do we do? Ran it with Justin Herbert 3 times in a row, and then you freaking throw it. He has to roll out, and then he overthrows Keenan Allen on 4th down.
So how many points did they come away with on that drive?
0. What the heck are they doing?
So he's at an 8.
So there we go. Second off, Herbert season. I know you're never going to watch this again because you're probably hiding. You had some choice words to say Saturday morning. Loved it. Your biggest thing was Bo Nix being 0-3 against Herbert, but we all see Herbert's now his postseason stats that kind of speak for themselves. So anytime anyone comes at me with Herbert's 3 or Bo Nix is 0-3 versus Justin Herbert, I'm just going to say let's pull up Justin Herbert's stats real quick from the last 4 postseason games. Yeah, I mean, they sure did a lot of talking. Matt and I, we dealt with it 2 weeks ago. When it was we were going to take care of the Texans and then the Broncos are going to lose the division to us. And that was like 2 days before the Texans game even happened. And then they shut down their leg against the Texans. And then they came with the excuses of, well, here's this, we're hurt. Tip passes don't count as interceptions towards quarterbacks, so that doesn't count. and all of this stuff, while Denver's not even playing this week, mind you, right? Like Matt and I get to enjoy, we're sitting back. We're enjoying our weekend stretch-free football. Chargers are all of a sudden saying, be ready next week. We're coming for you. We're going to be the ones who are going to be in the AFC Championship game. Herbert owns Knicks. Herbert this, Chargers that. I want you guys to enjoy your seats next to Patrick Mahomes and Geno Smith.
Why are we catching strays?
I want you guys to enjoy the divisional round from the couch. Matt?
Dude, I've been impatiently waiting. I'm sorry. I'm just chomping at the bit for this because, one, and no disrespect to you, Caleb. But,
yeah, Caleb, this isn't you.
Yeah, but there was something after that loss. The first meme I saw was the Chargers literally threw 3,000 miles to kick a field goal and bounce. So what I'm more disappointed in the Chargers fans, not that they didn't show up. I mean, obviously the Chargers didn't show up in general, but again, like Cory said, they were in on chat. Herbert owns Knicks. Well, again, we all told him, Caleb, you told him, let's worry about the game that we have coming up before we worry about the Broncos.
And they said, nah.
Yeah. Well, they lost to the Texans. Then they said, that's okay. We'll beat you with our backups. No, you didn't. Then they go into New England and they said, oh, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Get ready. Herbert owns Mile High. You're disappeared. You're gone. I haven't seen a single Chargers fan in my chat. I went live before the show. Not a single one of them.
All 10 of them.
Yep. And the other thing I'm disappointed in is they were all preaching how Justin Herbert should be MVP. Oh, it's not about, he may not have the same stats as Matt Stafford does, but he's grinding it out with less. And that's what it's about. That's what MVP is about. The moment that clock hit 0, how quickly they turned. Get him out of there. I saw one, Cody. One said they should trade Herbert to you guys so they can get the first pick. How quickly they turned on their savior, Justin Herbert, which wasn't even his fault, by the way.
Right.
That man was running for his life. It was not his fault. I am a huge fan of Justin Herbert. When he's not playing the Broncos, I do like Justin Herbert. I think he is a good quarterback. But how quickly they all turned on him when he was, oh, man, you got to get Herbert out of there. We're never going to do anything with Herbert. Get him out of there. But like last week, you were on my live saying how he owns Bo Nix. Raise your hand if your quarterback has a division title before Herbert does.
Cody, not you.
No, not you, Seamus. That's all I got to say about that. Again, if you're going to come at me with that energy, keep that energy. If you're going to say how great Herbert is, don't be talking about trading him off and shipping him somewhere else because you're upset he's spaghetti.
You first, I got some after you.
I do just want to say, Caleb, we still love you. None of this is directed at you.
Absolutely.
I know.
It's even honestly. Like I've been the biggest component of the Chargers are always going to Charger, and they will until they prove that they won't. That's where I've always stood, so I'm not even going to rub it in, but I do just want to say we love you. None of this is directed at you. This is directed at your compadres who have since disappeared. You're showing up with your Chargers gear still. They didn't have the balls to do that. You're still riding or dying. So this is geared towards them. Not even geared towards the Chargers team in general. Just the ones who somehow we're going to eliminate Denver 3 or 4 times before the postseason and then never actually got to play Denver in a meaningful game.
For sure.
And then last thing before I pass back to you, Cody, is Charger fans, I want you to look at the camera. I don't want to hear a goddamn thing from you guys at all next season. The only Charger fan that has anything to say to us is Caleb.
Is the one who knows what the F he's talking about, and that's Caleb right there.
I don't want to hear a peep about Charger fans all next season. I don't care what you say. I don't care what Bo Nix's record is against Justin Herbert. I don't care. You have no division titles with your quarterback. You guys talk so much smack, and you lose. So I don't want to hear a damn thing from any Charger fan next year unless your name's Caleb.
I appreciate it.
I mean,
nicely said. Yeah, Caleb, all of that to be said, I'm not going to harp on the Charger fans because my fandom has been known to be I'm not going to say toxic. It's the wrong word, but I'm going to say they get ahead of themselves or they go to one extreme to the other. And I think that's what Charger fans experience. I'm just going to give my perspective on the game itself. What I saw is I saw Justin Herbert trying too hard to be something that he needed his teammates to help with. And I saw Greg Roman not help his situation. I saw Greg Roman substitute out when it's a hurry up situation, allowing the defense to collect themselves. I also saw Ladd McConkey disappear throughout majority of the season and in this game. And I saw Keenan Allen drop in crucial passes, some self-inflicted by Justin Herbert. Other of them just straight in the hands, wouldn't catch it. So I'm not saying that Chargers weren't a team that could have beaten the Patriots. I think on the best day, I think the Chargers could go toe-to-toe, if not beat the Patriots. I think they're talented enough to do that. Yep. I think that there were game plans, things in the game plan that worked against you guys. Your defense was on one that night. They would have won you that game had a couple of points came away from the stops that they had. But I think what Chargers in general as the team they went away from is they made Justin Herbert throw, 30-something passes for less than 160 yards. No run game was there. No creativity to get him out of pressure. It almost seemed like they purposely put him in harm's way. And because of that, we saw Justin Herbert play outside of his game. To your credit, you said that this game is going to fall on Justin Herbert. He needs to create for others. He needs to make smart decisions. I saw none of that for Justin Herbert. I saw a guy trying to win this football game all by himself. I know that Josh Allen at certain times looks like Superman. He puts the game on his back, and in some respects he does. But there's still an offensive line that blocks for him. There's still a run game that leads to those scoring effects for Josh Allen. Herbert had none of that, and it was unfortunate that Herbert, one, is being persecuted for being a fraud of a quarterback, which I think is a good quarterback. Playoffs are kind of in question, but you can only do so much with the coaching that you have available. But I did see a quarterback on this team who was, and I will say he was probably jockeying for MVP status earlier in the season. I saw him not be an MVP. I saw him make mistakes that put his team behind. And I think a lot of that is coaching. So that's my perspective of looking for the game. And I feel like the Chargers need to really sit with themselves and think, what do they want this offense to look like next season to make Justin Herbert effective? Because still haven't found somebody that's been able to unlock Justin Herbert the way that Charger fans are hoping. And the biggest question we posed yesterday on social media was, will Justin Herbert ever win a playoff game? And I think that's a big question in doubt. Like, will it ever happen? Because when the moment comes up, he has fallen short every time.
Yep. Cody, you enjoyed that too much. It seems like you enjoyed the downfall of somebody, not the Raiders.
Are you accusing me of enjoying an AFC West rival fall short of what they were bragging for?
Well,
I'm not going to say no, but I'm also not going to say yes. So
I will say every point I completely agree with Cody. Literally, you were on par with everything that I thought about that game.
Well, don't tell him that.
No, he was.
I'm vindicating that. I do want to ask your opinion, though, because as you mentioned, and we've all kind of mentioned it, Greg Roman, the OC, was fired today. Do you have an OC in mind that you think you would want the Chargers to bring on to elevate Justin Herbert?
Sure. Sharon Moore. Heck no, stay away. No, dude, I was thinking about it, man. I would love to see Mike McDaniel, but I don't think he's a Harbaugh guy, if you know what I mean. I don't think he is. So I don't know. I've got to do a little bit more thinking on that, to be honest with you. Yeah, our DeBall was – hey, shout out to Brody. I actually thought about DeBall too. DeBall, I hope I pronounced that right. But
your British accent.
Thank you.
Yes, British accent. Get you.
But, yeah, I like him too because he likes to run the ball, and that kind of fits Harbaugh. Obviously, he runs a little bit different scheme, that kind of thing. But I'm not sure. I'd love to hear what you guys think.
Matt Nagy.
You have a long offseason to figure it out, buddy.
No, not Nagy. I'll pass on that. He doesn't.
I wonder what's going to happen first. Will the Raiders find their head
Stefanski.
coach first or their offensive coordinator first? I wonder which arm race is going to happen.
Dude, Harbaugh's going to hire Harbaugh for the OC.
Damn.
That would be crazy.
That would be funny.
That's
That
too
would
much
be
power.
the biggest dumpster fire I've ever seen.
It really would.
Well, the Raiders.
The Raiders. Yeah.
Well, that's expected for the Chargers. I'm not sure about that. All right, let's move on to. I think I did try to squeeze this in the notes, and I do want to get your guys' initial reaction before we go on to the other seggies later on in the episode. Mike Tomlin stepped down as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So just a recap for the end of the regular season, we've had Kevin Stefanski fired from the Cleveland Browns. We've had John Harbaugh, who was fired or stepped down from Baltimore Ravens. Now Mike Tomlin is stepping away and basically letting himself go from the Steelers. And lonely Zach Taylor, never thought I'd say that, is the last surviving AFC North head coach. So, Matt, I just want your reaction to Mike Tomlin stepping away from the Steelers. And do you think the Steelers are going to go down a different road with head coach, or are they going to go defense as normal, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I can't say that I'm surprised about it. If you guys have been on my lives on TikTok, I had kind of been saying, like, I think they're going to let him go after this. Man, you can't throw me off my take, dude.
Sorry.
No, you're good. That was good,
This
though.
was exactly what would happen.
Yeah. But again, I can't say I didn't see this coming because, like I've been saying before in previous shows, how many times can you go 9-8, 10-7, 10-6, get to the playoffs and be one and done? Eventually, like, you've been the head coach for as long as I've been in the Navy, for like 18 years now, and you have one Super Bowl title to your name. You know, and now so it's like it's not like you have much to show for it. And you know, in the offseason, I kind of talked about, I feel like Mike Tomlin doesn't want to adjust to the NFL. He's going to stick to his bread and butter and just kind of like, you know, vamp up the defense. But that offense has always kind of been wishy-washy. The drama with, you know, receivers, you know, like, what was it, Chase Claypool, now DK, punching the fin. There's always some kind of drama with receivers and running backs there. The quarterback carousel since Ben Roethlisberger retired, it's just not been a good organization. And I don't think Mike Tomlin's a bad head coach, but he's not changing his game up. He's not adjusting to the league. And the results are showing, like, he's getting nowhere. Hey, that's great that you haven't had a losing record since you've been a head coach, but it doesn't mean jack if you're not winning Super Bowls. So, you know, it worked in the early 2000s. It's not working now. You're not changing your game up. It's time to go. So I think they are going to find someone who's probably more offense focused rather than defense, because again, that offense has kind of been sputtering here and there lately. Again, ever since Ben retired, you know, they've kind of been like on and off. So I think they want someone to kind of get that offense a little organized, because to me, it is a dysfunctional offense.
Yeah. Caleb, what were your thoughts when the news broke that Mike Tomlin is stepping away?
I was shocked, but I think they gave him the opportunity to step down himself is what I think really happened. But I mean, overall, I think Mike Tomlin's going to go somewhere else, and he's going to end up winning somewhere else. I think he takes a year off, that kind of thing. But overall, my initial thoughts were just like, am I reading this correctly? He's stepping down. Like, just in shock that he's stepping down and wasn't fired. But overall, I think he'll probably hang out with his kids for a year, and then he'll want to get back in coaching. He'll be bored and want to get back into it. But yeah, overall, I was so shocked whenever it happened. Yeah.
Gotcha. Austin, what were your thoughts?
I'll make it quick. He's a hell of a coach, but sometimes, you know, we say it with players. Sometimes you just need a new environment. I think that'll come in a year or two, kind of like a Sean Payton type deal. Take a year off, do some football talking, evaluate the landscape of the NFL, and then come back and kind of have your pick of the litter and go there and have success. Overall thought of what you said, though, is like, how the hell is Zach Taylor the one coach who remains safe? That's what I don't know. That's the biggest shock of all this. Because Tomlin is a hell of a coach. Sometimes you just run your course, right? I mean, 19 years, it is impressive to never have a losing season, but sometimes you need more. You know, it's the same, like we just talked about with the Chargers. Justin Herbert's really good in the regular season, but you need to do something in the postseason for people to fully buy into you.
Yep.
Herbert and the Chargers as a whole, and I mean, that's what, 7 straight playoff losses for the Steelers now? I think they were 6 or 7 straight losses. So, you know, Tomlin's a good coach. Zach Taylor somehow is the one safe coach in that division. Wild is really one way to describe that.
Yeah. Cory, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, I love Mike T. He's been a blessing to the city of Pittsburgh and what he's able to do with that. But all good things come to an end, right? Like Mike Shanahan, the Broncos, I remember that when it happened. So, you know, it was best time to move on. I agree with Caleb. I think it was a mutual, just kind of let him step down. They'll get a draft pick for him next year when someone hires him. You know, they'll cash in on it somehow. I do look for Brian Flores or Jesse Minter as a possible replacement there. I think both those coaches, I think maybe more of Minter could be a good long-term, because obviously they've only had 3 head coaches ever. So they get it right as far as head coaching goes. So I would look for those two. I saw Robert Saleh's name kind of out there, but if someone like Saleh, he's going to have to knock it out of the park with his offensive coordinator, and hopefully he learned from the Nathaniel Hackett debacle and how that went. So yeah, all good things come to an end. Somehow Zach Taylor doesn't end yet. So Steelers are going to be fine.
Yeah, actually would be funny is because Robert Saleh was the first guy that came to mind when the Pittsburgh job opened up. I figured he actually might fit what the Rooneys are looking for. I don't feel like he had that support in New York. And I feel like if he had the same support that Mike Tomlin did in Pittsburgh, I feel like it wouldn't be worse, but it might be the same. So, if Steelers are looking for, potential wild card to playoff berths, I can see that. The OC that I can see that Robert Saleh would need to bring in to make himself competitive would probably be a Mike McDaniel, they're both available, both come from the Shanahan tree. That might be interesting. But there's two stats I want to give, which I found very interesting before I move on to the next segment. One of them was that Mike Tomlin since 2016 has made it to a wild card berth, but has lost in the first round or on that playoff game since 2016. So for almost 10 straight seasons, they would get either a wild card divisional berth, and then they would lose that playoff game that they had to face. So he was essentially 0-9 or something like that in his last 9 or 10 playoff games since 2016, which I thought was a wild stat. And the second one, this is more an indictment on the Raiders. The Pittsburgh Steelers franchise are about to find their 4th head coach. So Mike Tomlin is the 3rd in their team's history. The Raiders since 2007 have gone through 11 head coaches since Mike Tomlin has been employed with Baltimore. So that's more of an indictment on my Raiders. I just want to give a perspective of like Pittsburgh's consistency compared to like my team who's inconsistent. Like it's wild that we've gone through 11 head coaches in the same time period that Mike Tomlin's had one job. So
I think I just think that goes to show you the two opposite directions that both those franchises have gone.
Yeah, 100%. I thought that was a good food for thought. So let's move on to the next segment of the episode. It is Austin's aerial attack for the best defense of the wild card round. Austin, the floor is yours.
Yeah, there was actually some good choices this week. You even had the Chargers in a losing effort. Could have been an option because they played their tails off. But I think I'm going to have to go with the one who was just pure domination, and that was the Texans. They put points on the board. They held Steelers to 6 points at home when a bunch of people, Cody, told me it was really hard to play in Pittsburgh, that it would have an effect on the game. And that defense said, nah, dude, like this offense is trash. They held them to 175 total yards. They actually lost the turnover battle, but they still forced 2 turnovers, got a touchdown on a thick 6. I guess it was a fumble 6,
it's still
but it's still a thick 6.
It's still a thing, yeah. It's all good.
Right.
That was my brute take.
It was.
They only sacked Rodgers 4 times, but it was for 36 yards worth of offense, which in perspective, CJ Stroud was sacked 3 times for a loss of 6 yards.
Mhm.
So like that the defense was just insane. Texans offense struggled for a lot of that, and then Texans defense were like, we will literally will us to victory because we can do that. The amount of I think they probably made Aaron Rodgers set a career high in tantrums in a game.
Crash outs.
Yeah, honestly, it's so annoying, and I thoroughly enjoy it as not a Steelers fan or a Rodgers fan, but Texans defense is real. Man, I think I saw Lassiter, Stingley, who's another, I think it was Petrie. The 3 of them actually allowed 0 receptions as the closest defender. So they're 2 dudes and they're kind of hybrid nickel safety, all allowed 0 catches. You know, they held the Steelers to 3.5 yards per carry. I mean, they just dominated. I know the Patriots gave up less points, but I feel like that was more they got a lot of help from the Chargers on that one.
Yes.
Truth be told. And I'm going Texans because I feel like they actually dominated defensively. Now, again, Rodgers being ancient probably didn't help, so they're getting help from him. But drops from DK and others. But that Texans defense is real. That Texans defense is scary. And I got to be honest, if them and Denver clash in the championship game, that is going to be one hard-hitting, fast-flying football game. Not to get ahead, I'm just saying those defenses, if those go against each other.
Yeah, easy, Luciano.
I'm just saying. But no, that Texans defense is for real. And if CJ Stroud can just play average football.
He can't.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Hey, he has 3 more playoff wins than Herbert. If he could just play average football, that team could be scary. So Texans defense is definitely the aerial attack of the week.
Aaron Rodgers saw Justin Herbert get taken to Pound Town and wanted in on that action.
Honestly, yeah.
Actually, thanks, Brody. Yeah, Kalen Bullock as well. That was another one who didn't give up a reception. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the next seggy. I almost feel bad for you, Caleb, but what's your Counterstrike for the week?
So,
do it for the war room.
Do it for the vine.
So my Counterstrike, I keep debating, man, because I don't know if I want to talk about my team anymore or I'm gonna have a heart attack or something. Or I was going to talk about the Packers' fourth quarter defense, but I'll talk about my team. I'll talk about my team because it's driving me crazy and I got to get it off my chest, I guess. So obviously my Counterstrike is the team that's all hype, no bite of the week. So I will say, as far as team goes, I'll say it's our offensive side of the ball. As far as not having a bite, I mean, just lack of execution, the lack of communication on our O-line. Like, you can't pick up a stunt. It's not like they were doing anything crazy. I don't know if you saw the 4th down at the very end of the game, if anyone was even watching at that point, where we had the ball and 3 guys were blocking Milton Williams, and he still sacked Herbert 1 second after the ball was snapped. Literally 1 second. You got 3 guys blocking him. Like, you can't communicate at all. Like, just the lack of, like, preparation, execution. I mean, there was none. So, and they were so disappointing to watch. I think any football fan this weekend did not expect that to be the worst game. Last night may have been worse, but yeah, that was easily the worst game of the weekend for me. So that is my Counterstrike for the week, is my Chargers offense. They were pitiful. Just the lack of execution, everything, from a fan's perspective and from even a hater, like you guys, like, obviously you don't like my team, but that was a terrible game to watch. It was, like, just as a football fan, it was disrespectful to the game of football, honestly. That's what I got to say.
Well, you're sure not the Raiders, but yeah. All right. Thank you for the Counterstrike, Caleb. We probably may ask you a little bit more later on the show about your Chargers, but for now, we're going to move on to Matt's M.I.L.F. report. Matt, give us your M.I.L.F. seggy, sir.
Yeah, so last week I said the matchup to watch for it was going to be the Bills and Jags, just because, again, the Bills were getting hot at the right time. The Jags have been on a win streak going into that game. They had the home field, and it was going to be a slugfest. And, it was kind of slow at first, and then eventually near the end of the game, that's where it really started to take off. And I got to say, the Bills got banged up, man. Now you have Gabe Davis out, and what is it, Shavers? Say his name? Yeah. Both of them torn ACL. What are the chances that two of your players are going to get a torn ACL in the same game? Right. So, I mean, yeah, right. But I mean, it was a hard fought battle for both teams. And the momentum just kept shifting. Like, nobody really had an edge over the other. Both of them protected their quarterbacks well. Lawrence and Allen were both only sacked one time, which is surprising because, again, the Jags have been getting in the backfield quite often. They have a very good pass rush. And the Bills actually, it's really not surprising from the Bills because they allowed 154 total rushing yards. So it was a very fun game to watch, but and Josh Allen, or the Bills in general, were 0-5 going into that game. Like, they were 0-5 on the road. So it looked like, again, everything was in Jacksonville's favor until it wasn't. So it was a fun game to watch, but it definitely took a lot out of the Bills. And on a short week, I hope Denver can use that to their advantage.
It's going to be, man, I'd love to talk about the matchup right now. I know that tomorrow we'll kind of dive into more of it, and then we're going to have a pregame show that's not Saturday morning. I think we're going to do it slightly earlier, so watch out for that. But I can't wait to talk about this matchup because I know that you guys were real calm, cool, and collected all weekend. And now that the stage is set, I'm really curious to know what your guys' thoughts are when we get into that. So that was Matt's M.I.L.F report. Cory's Crossfire. I'm very curious on this one, Cory, because I see in the notes here you have. Can't wait to hear it. So what is your Crossfire?
Yeah, so it's a two-part. First one's Matt LaFleur. Obviously, the dude's a joke. So first off, we did a seggy a couple weeks ago, talked about coaches, on the hot seat or getting fired. Dark horse, I think a couple of us picked Matt LaFleur as their dark horse. And I know that they're talking about the extension of, extending his contract and, bringing him back. But until that contract's extended, I'm not going to buy into that. They said that a while ago, and Caleb obviously said that he was reading that they hadn't come to terms yet, and it's been a couple of days. Now, I know those things take time. It's cool. But again, I see Packer fans. I see you guys. I truly do. You're saying you don't want them back. You don't want them. So don't come out and say, oh, you do. If they do extend them, all right, stay the course, right? You're a fan, stay the course. I want to hear you guys and your thoughts if he does get extended, and see what you guys are thinking. Then Ben Johnson, this isn't really me calling him out. This is me actually I absolutely loved what he did. Mm-hmm. You want to beat your rival twice the way they did the last 2 out of 3 weeks. You celebrate the shit out of that. Mm-hmm. I have no problems with him celebrating how he did in the locker room. You just beat a rival. I would love to see my coach do the exact same thing. I don't care. And then and he stood on business. He stood on it. The next day in his press conference, they asked him about it. I hate that team. George and I talked. We're on the same page. I don't owe you guys shit. I don't owe you an explanation. Stand on your ground. Stand on your business. Packer fans, that's what you need as a coach, and that's why you're probably going to keep getting your ass beat by the Bears like that, because your coach is soft. Your coach is Charmin soft. Ooh, you guys should find yourself someone like Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is the answer for Chicago. They got their coach. What are you going to do, Green Bay? You going to sit back and let Matt LaFleur continue to choke away during the season, barely doing enough to get into the postseason just to get your ass worked by your rival again? Yeah. No, you guys should have found yourself a Ben Johnson. So, Ben Johnson, I applaud you. Stand on your business. You hate your rival. You don't want to see your rival succeed. That's what we love about this. That's why our show's West Room Rivals. Now, we keep it a little cleaner than that. I'll give them that. But stand your ground. You hate your rival. F the Packers. Stand on it.
Quite the life.
It is, but they're soft.
It is. Like
it's
what Kobe
the Bears
said,
that sell it
soft
for me,
like Charmin. I wonder. Go ahead, Austin. No, you go ahead.
No, I just want to say that if Packers and Packers fans and the Packers organization has a problem with it, it's the same thing I'm going to do when pitchers have an issue with hitters celebrating. You don't want them celebrating. Don't give up a home run. Well, if you have a problem with how the Bears are celebrating beating you, don't let them beat you.
Don't choke the game away. You were up 21-9.
And you know damn well if you won that game, you're going to be doing the same damn thing. I hate the Bears. They're our rivals. Screw them. We won in their house. So, like, you don't like what they're doing? Beat them. How's that sound? That'll solve all your problems. Don't try to make them out to be bad people. Don't try to say they're classless. You don't like what they're doing. You have a solution. Beat them.
There's no aloe on that TP right there. We're not soft here.
I think I heard this quote from Bill Belichick, I think, and this was during the Patriots undefeated run where they were in 2007 when they were putting points up and they were actually scoring in the fourth quarter where teams were upset that they're running up the score. It felt like, and Bill Belichick simply said, if you don't like it, stop it then. And I've always said that's like, as much as me as my team and my team, I hate that teams run up the score sometimes. If we don't like it, we need to stop it then. We need to figure out how to stop it. So I always find it funny, especially just to Cory's point, all the Packers fans that are up in arms or the analysts that are up in arms, how it's classless. It's like, that's what's missing in the NFL is that rivalry sense of like legit animosity. Like I'm sure outside of football, they're probably fine with one another. But between the lines and in the locker room, they're like, F the Packers, F the Bears. It's all about getting this win, as rivals should. Like, rivals should be able to go head to head, have that animosity, because that's what the game of football needs. Like, I don't know how many of our guests have said that the game is just different because there is no more of that, not hatred, but, just animosity, just, spite for that player because they play on that team. How many stories we heard about Marty Schottenheimer absolutely hating the Raiders out of every stop he went to, or Kawika Mitchell hates the Broncos because playing in the altitude and the Bronco team. Like, just hearing how I don't like that team, we need to be okay with that. Not this whole like, oh man, they should be kinder with one another. That's unprofessional. Nah, man. Like, I need to see Ben Johnson stand on a podium and say, I freaking hate them. That's why I want to beat them so badly. I need that. So
yes,
we even had Garrett Bowles on the show, and he was talking about like, I'm friends with Max Crosby, I'm friends with Travis Kelce outside of the game. When the season's over, they are great friends of mine. When the season's on, we're not friends.
Yep.
I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah, Denver Dad here with more keep to leave and perhaps chain snatching. 100%. 100%. We need more chain snatched. So
I do thank you, Packer fans, because I knew once I saw Ben Johnson do that, what he did after the game the other night, I knew that was going to be part of my segment in a good way. And then Packer fans just absolutely sprinkled some cheese on it and made it
pun intended
and made it absolutely worth me having that for that. So Packer fans, thank you.
Yeah, I want more coaches to do that. I really do. And it probably won't happen that much, but damn it, Ben Johnson, like, I'm sure you made fans of a lot of people, but I'll speak for myself. You guys might agree, but you made an even bigger fan out of me.
Yeah.
Like, I already liked you, but damn, you're doing that. Like, do some trainings with coaches in the offseason on how to act when you beat the shit out of your rival, please.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, guys, let's go ahead and close that seggy. We're going to go over to League Recon, but before we do that, we're going to get a word from our sponsor, so we'll be right back. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. All right, guys, welcome back to West Wardroom Rivals. If you have not done so yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. You guys are probably watching us on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button, and that way you guys can share this with everybody else. Leave a comment. I see the comments right now are active in the live, which we love. So shout out to everyone that's hanging out with us. So don't forget to subscribe. And also shout out to our partners, Vidite Coffee, Rival Codes, Field Ops, Emporio State Federal Credit Union, JVW Solutions for being endless supporters of us and letting us do this. So shout out to our partners. If you guys want any of these special codes or discounts that some of these guys have, or the links, or you want to visit our partners, go visit down in the comments below to get updated on all that good stuff and help support them because they can continue to support us. So let's get into the league recon, guys. We had a crazy wild card weekend, as everyone has talked about. Josh Allen carried the Buffalo Bills over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Matt, what were your thoughts when you saw the Jacksonville game and you saw Josh Allen basically single-handedly beat Jacksonville?
I mean, are we surprised? Exactly. I mean, again, he's Superman for a reason. What Josh Allen is able to do, the talent that man has, and again, he's one of the toughest quarterbacks to bring down. He was only sacked one time, and it's because he's such a big guy, and we saw him carry the pile. I mean, it wasn't ruled a touchdown, but I mean, that man only needed 4 yards to get a first down. He ended up carrying it for 15 with defenders all over him. So I mean, he's a fighter, man, and it kind of reminds me. Now, people listening, people that will be watching, I am not saying Bo Nix is on that level yet, but it does remind me of last year's playoff game where Bo Nix put the team on his back and did everything he could to put the Broncos in a position to win. That's what you see from Josh Allen on a weekly basis. He puts that team on his back. He always gives them a fighting chance. And as long as 17 is in Buffalo, Buffalo will remain a threat and a top contender in the AFC because of what Josh Allen is able to do. I mean, look at him. He has like no receiver. His receiving core is trash. You have a couple of good tight ends. You have a very good running back, but that's it. It's Josh Allen is the Bills. So it does not surprise me whatsoever that Josh Allen was able to do what he did against Jacksonville.
Yeah. I'm going to go over to the next Broncos fan. Cory, what were your thoughts in seeing Buffalo and how they took care of business against Jacksonville?
Yeah, no surprise. And hats off to Jacksonville. I mean, they kept it close. Trevor Lawrence looked really good, but he also had a couple mistakes, which, again, if you had to put your choice, and we said it a lot in the pregame and last week's show that obviously we trusted Josh Allen more than Trevor Lawrence, but I still was pulling for the Jags, obviously. But yeah, I mean, kind of like Matt said, the Jaguars did a really good job of taking James Cook out of that game. And, Josh Allen knew that. So any good quarterback of his caliber, which he's one of one, there's no other quarterback that can do what he does. And that's not a shot at Mahomes or any of those guys, but what Josh Allen's able to do with the lack of skill position players and lack of coaching, I'll say it, lack of coaching. He's, man, big fan of him. Not rooting for him this week. So he'll get his flowers tonight from me. And then after that, screw him.
Hey, you, Josh.
All right. Next game up was the Niners were able to defeat the defending Super Bowl champion. So now there will be a new Super Bowl champion at the end of all of it. And the Niners look like they took care of business pretty comfortably. So, Caleb, was this Kyle Shanahan's best coaching job ever?
Potentially. I think some of the plays he called down the stretch showed how bad he wanted to win. I mean, he ran it was like a double reverse to a wide receiver to throw a touchdown pass. Like, obviously he's done that before, but like the way he approached that game, he wanted to win it bad. He really did. And overall, I was impressed with how the 49ers played. I picked the Eagles to win this game. But the 49ers, they were good. Like, they look really good. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a little run, if I'm being honest with you. A couple weeks ago, I called them as my Super Bowl contender, even though I picked them to lose this week. But, I thought this was potentially one of his best coaching jobs that I've seen. Now, I know he's made it to the Super Bowl before and that kind of thing, but yeah, it was up there for sure.
So crazy stat. If since Kyle Shanahan's been the head coach, the Niners have either missed the playoffs or made it all the way to the NFC Championship game. No in between. So that's a little, that was what I saw on ESPN the other night after they beat the Eagles. So Austin, what were your thoughts of the Niners basically taking care of business and sending the defending champions home early?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that Jawan Jennings now has as many playoff touchdown passes as Justin Herbert.
I knew you were going to say that.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say it. You led
Shout out
with
to
it.
my VFL, though. VFL.
I feel that. No, I actually think this is far and away Kyle Shanahan's best coaching job. They're decimated. They were playing with their 5th, 6th, and 7th linebackers. They are last in the league in sacks, and stats probably. Last in the league in sacks. And again, we know the Eagles have kind of been, I don't know, not good offensively. But there's still a bunch of backups out there on the Niners defense.
5th, 6th, 7th string.
Yeah, I mean, and here they are, like you said, they kind of won pretty convincingly on the road. Like, yes, he's made it to Super Bowls, but those teams are relatively healthy, definitely healthier than this year's team. You lose Kittle in the middle of that game, which could have easily deflated you. I mean, look what happened when Greenlaw did that against the Chiefs. That turned that whole Super Bowl around when Greenlaw got hurt.
Yeah.
So you lose Kittle like that, didn't miss a beat. Like Caleb said, you called one hell of a game. This goes to show how important play calling is. Again, we can blame players, but your coaches do make things easier. So I do think this is far and away his best coaching job he's done, just given the fact that he is really doing this. He's done it all year with not the same quarterback, going back and forth. Kittle's been hurt a lot. Pearsall been hurt basically all the time. Kittle's been hurt. Shockingly, CMC's the one dude who stayed healthy. But what Shanahan's done, and I know he probably won't get it, but the actual coaching job he's done deserves Coach of the Year recognition.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's I think that's an interesting point that you make about Kyle Shanahan being potentially Coach of the Year. Let's go through some of the comments real quick. Denver Dev, Shanahan pulled out the secret playbook. Now Sean better do the same. Check down merchant is what he'll be. Shout out to Bailey. Shout out to Bailey. Fred Warner is now practicing. That could be very interesting depending on how far they go. And then, he thinks they win about 6 to 7 stringers right now, Matt.
I think it was 6th, 7th, maybe an 8th stringer.
Somewhere around there.
Maybe an 8, 9.
I hope the Goldfish Factory burns down 8 to 9 times. All right.
Yeah, Monk, tell us how you really feel.
All right, twin.
All right, twin.
Oh, wow.
Are we skipping the Panthers one?
I don't know. I'm
not the host.
We have a Panthers one. Am I missing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rams squeak out one against the Panthers. That one was my heartbreak of the week.
Is that? What did you get? Okay, fine. What did we think of the Rams? I thought we talked about that on the Sunday morning pregame show. That's why
this
we
is
really
a review.
talked about it.
This is a review. That was
Did
a
we
preview.
not review that game? Didn't it happen
Dude,
on Saturday?
Once you get to be my age, you don't remember what you talk about.
Okay, Austin, was that your heartbreak of the week? Tell us why.
It was because they got hosed, man. Panthers should have won that game. Matt Stafford just decided all of a sudden he's a good quarterback and drops a dime when the game matters.
That's what the great ones do.
That's what
I still say Puka was the hero of that game because if he doesn't break up that interception, you're looking at a different game. Yeah,
I want to give Panthers credit though. They were supposed to not have a chance. They were supposed to get dog walked.
Mm-hmm.
They held their own. Like they proved that they're on the right trajectory. My boy Derek Brown, still real good, but yeah, no, I'm only heartbroken because I was the one person in America that wasn't a Panthers fan and picked the Panthers. So I actually didn't think there was much of a shot. And then that game got froggy because of, we'll talk about it here in a little bit, special teams. But man, if you're a Panthers fan, I know there's no moral victories, but you should feel pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And you know the one thing that stood out from the Rams-Panthers game, Matt? Justin Herbert's 3-0 against Bo Nix.
Oh man, he owns us.
Oh, that's funny.
Herbert.
And in other news, the 5th-year option from Bryce Young has been picked up. Yeah, I'm curious though if like he's gonna. I feel like we're still waiting for Bryce Young to take another step forward. Like he did pretty good this year, but I don't know if he's like really a difference maker that's going to make them win more games next year, unless like Dave Canales dials it in even more. But I feel like Bryce Young is not hitting a ceiling, but I don't know if he can go much further. So
he can. You already seen it from last year to this year. You've seen it. Now next year you're going to take that next step. He'll be fine.
Now give him another full off season with Ted McMillan, Jalen Coker. Like now you build some rapport.
Well, they're going to have to sign Coker. He's a free agent. He's going to bring in some hefty
some cheddar bobs.
Yeah.
They better.
We're going to give another off season with Ted McMillan because he's obviously your alpha dog.
right.
But yeah, no, it takes time, right? Like you have to get reps, you have to work with people. You know, they've kind of had a revolving door at receiver.
Right.
Like Leggett hasn't really quite worked out.
No, but Jalen Croker, is that his name?
Jalen Coker, yeah.
Yeah, he's almost better than Leggett. So
Probably is, but yeah, I think given another full off season with Canales and these weapons, and I think it'll be another winnable division next year. I don't see any of the other teams taking massive steps. So if there's a year where Bryce can take that next step, I do think it's this next year.
And then as we talk about some preview matchups tomorrow surrounding the divisional round, the Rams obviously are the victors of the game that we're talking about. Defense, pretty suspect, I think, in this game, all things considered. I know we did kind of talk about this on the Sunday morning pregame show, but very interesting. Now they're going to Seattle for an away game against one of the top defenses and that offense. So we'll see, and ironically, another rivalry game. So it's kind of all fitting, but we'll preview that tomorrow. But now Austin and Matt have a special seggy that they want to debut. So Austin, the floor is yours, sir, to debut your seggy.
Yeah, if you've watched our episodes throughout the year and specifically recently, Matt and I have really harped on special teams quite a bit. It's kind of an afterthought to most people. You hear offense versus defense matchups, and we've even had some when Caleb posts stats where they're like punting and return game. That's not a flex. Bro, it's a part of the game, and it's a crucial part of the game. So we want to debut our zeros and heroes of the wild card round when it just comes to special teams. It was a wild week and wild card for special teams. Matt, I'll let you lead off with. Actually, I'll lead off with the Panthers Rams since I said that was my heartbreak. But you had missed field goals. But in that game, you had the Panthers blocked a punt, which almost cost the Rams a game. But you also had the Panthers muff a punt, fumble a punt. Those things matter always, but it matters that much more in the playoffs. That game specifically, special teams were sloppy. Luckily, I think special teams kept the Panthers in it a little bit. But the Rams, they got to figure their special teams out because I feel like their margin for error has gotten smaller. So special teams are going to be that much bigger for them. So I think the zero and the hero in this game is going to be the zero would be Etienne with the fumble, and the hero I'm still going to stick with the Panthers even though they lost was Isaiah Simmons blocking the punt.
All right, Matt.
Yeah. So for me, I only have one hero, and Austin already kind of harped on it, so I'm not going to touch too much of it. Yeah, Isaiah Simmons, he'd be the only hero. And pretty much for all my zeros, it's every kicker over the weekend.
Yeah.
There were I want to say 7, maybe 8 or 9 total, and that's including the extra points, missed field goals. There was one yesterday in the Texans game. Fairbank missed. Extra points. Brendan McManus actually missed the most over the weekend. He literally left 7 points off the board.
Crucial.
And
How
it's
many
crucial.
points did the Packers lose by again? 3,
Actually,
was it?
Yes, 3.
If they lost, I don't care. I don't know.
I don't remember the score. I just know, it's 7 points off the board right there.
Yep.
Special teams, and Austin and I both have already said it, it often gets overlooked because you're not focusing on that. You're focusing on, how many yards is Josh Allen going to throw today? How many sacks is the Broncos defense going to get today? You're focusing on the things because they're on the field more. But, special teams does matter. They put your team in either terrible field position or great field position. They put points on the board. They keep the other team from putting points on the board, but field goal kicking, and we all know Matt Prater would never do that.
Mhm.
Would never do such a thing. Shout out to him. But I mean, again, like I said, my zeros are every kicker over the weekend is just, how do you miss that many kicks? I did look it up. Even Cam Little, and I looked it up, and so far the one that's missed the most kicks was Dallas's kicker when he missed 4 extra points in a row.
Oh wow.
Hello.
Yep. And then Brendan McManus was right behind him this weekend. So that's
Kicking
saying
matters.
something.
Yeah.
Kicking matters. Yeah.
Matt Prater with his hurt quad out here kicking 50-yard tanks.
Flawlessly.
He went 5 for 5, 3 extra points, 2 field goals. Longest one was 50 yards. So Matt Prater, the GOAT. Everyone need to take notes, especially those that missed on their kicks. He doesn't feel pressure.
He's the oldest one.
That's right. Teaching these young bucks how to do it.
Well, and think about it. They were talking about, and leading up to that the Jags Bills game, talking about how big of a weapon Cam Little is.
Yeah.
Matt Prater out-weaponed him. Cam Little missed that field goal going into halftime that I believe would have tied it.
Yeah.
They got that weird extra play on, the timing and everything, and then he shanked it. These are crucial. Not only you're leaving points out there, momentum killers, momentum changers, different tone, things can go differently. And I know some coaches don't kick field goals when they should, hardball when you're anyway. Sometimes you should take the points, but we have to think, is this a reason coaches aren't kicking it now? You're not trusting your kickers as much? Because I feel like they're being missed at a high rate.
Alarmingly. But they are also being kicked at a further rate than I think we've ever seen before. I mean, now, an average field goal used to be 40-something yards. Now it's closer to 50. If your kicker is not being able to hit it from 52 to 56 yards, you probably you're not even in range for anything competitive. Whereas you got a guy like Cam Little who's nailing it from 67 yards or whatever. Or I think in the preseason, he nailed a 70-yarder. So, the field is getting adjust. Where the kickers are adjusting to longer distances, but that's more that opens up the door for more error in terms of okay, the ball maybe could drift more right, more left, or whatever. It's just a little bit more challenging. But I mean, look at the Rams right now. They may not even make it onto the conference championship because can anyone name who their kicker is?
Yeah.
No, because they're on their
Matt Rivers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The thicker kicker.
He went to Missouri.
Kicker, that's what it is.
Okay, that's why. But he's their third kicker of the year. So again, it's a revolving door. I couldn't tell you how many times kickers are basically just brought in for 1 week left. Matt Prater was literally brought in 2 days before the Sunday Night Football game where he nailed the game winner. So, kickers like that just aren't around. But, again, kind of circling back to Matt Prater, just the legend that he is, just does it with no problem. So.
Yeah, no, and we're focusing on that, but it's even, your punt return units, kick returns, especially with the new kickoff rule.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Those with a decent return game, Patriots have a really good return game. That could be an X factor, right? Especially against that defense.
Right.
So what the point of this segment is to try to point out and have you realize how important special teams are, especially in these games when you're going to be so evenly-ish matched, where something small is going to make a difference, aka special teams. So excited to shout out some special teams zeros and heroes each week.
Awesome. And that was the debut of a new Segi. That'll definitely be a big thing that we probably roll out in season 2 as well. But Austin, Matt, with the debut of it, and I dig it. A couple of comments here. Let's see. Denver Dev. Marvin Mims' return games could be an X factor.
Yep.
I think so too. Just to carry on Austin's point, football's won on 3 phases, not just one of them. So
Absolutely.
Bailey, Harrison Buckner down here. Yeah.
Harrison Bucker's ass.
Not going to disagree with you on that, sir.
Back to you with the weather, Cody.
It's going to rain.
All right, guys. Tomorrow we will actually be previewing more of the divisional rounds. So we'll be talking Bears and Rams. I have to correct myself. I thought the Rams were going to Seattle. It's actually the Niners, but Bears and Rams is going to be a huge NFC divisional round. Seattle and the Niners, another divisional round. Patriots and Texans, of course, that'll be huge. And of course, the main event one, the one that we're all on pins and needles for, the Broncos and the Bills. Bills traveling to Mile High. Of course, we'll be previewing all of that tomorrow night. That'll go live at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern time. Guys, do we have anything else before I close out the show?
Brad, the AFC divisional round matchups are going to be pure cinema.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Tune in tomorrow for the preview of that because it's cinema.
And I will be dropping that head-to-head graphic tomorrow, so get ready for that.
Hot and fresh out the kitchen. All right, guys.
Packer fans, watch a real coach. Watch Ben Johnson coach this game this weekend. Packer fans, see what a real coach looks like.
Chargers fans, we're looking for you too, not you, Caleb. You're fine. Everyone else, all the other Chargers fans, we're still waiting.
Luciano, watch that Texans game, bro. Worry about the Patriots first, then we'll debate you.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and pay some bills so we can go home. Check out our new sponsor, Videye Coffee. Go to videycoffee.com or go to the Amazon store to get your Videye Coffee today. They're all BS and pure caffeine, of course, what everyone loves. And our other new sponsor that we have, Rival Codes. Use Rivals10 to get 10% off your merch. They have custom area code rivalry shirts that you guys can get not only for NFL, but NBA, MLB, and also the college rankings, of course. So go to Rival Codes and use Rivals10 to get your merch today. And of course, Troy with Field Ops. Thank you guys so much for the love and support that you guys have showed us in season 1, which has been incredible. Thank you, Troy, and Angie and her team at Emporia State Federal Credit Union. And of course, the one that helps us do what we do, Jeff at JBW Solutions. Thank you so much. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com today to be safety compliant, to get all things OSHA situated for your place of work. They are veteran-owned, community-driven, safety-focused. Can't thank them enough for all that we do. And yes, we need Goldfish to sponsor us. Put in a word for us, and maybe they will make it on the ticker on the next episode. But guys, we will see you guys tomorrow for our next live show previewing the divisional round. So we'll see you.